morning and welcome to Friday morning Qigong with Danielle and Stella. And off we go. Let's start with our shake. And a really loose exploration of the shake. Oh, what needs to be loosened off? There's a bit of a stiff arm from throwing the ball for the dog. Some hips going on. Just whatever feels good, just moving and shaking, doing that little bounce. Anyway, that feels good. And let's start to get a little bit more refined and aware and conscious. Let's start with a connection down into the feet. Getting the feet spread, the toes spread, really opening up through kidney 1. Point bubbling springs, just be applying the ball of the foot. And let's get right in there. Let's get right in. Let's get right into the bones. Feeling like we are not shaking the bones, but shaking from the bones. Is that just a slightly different way of accessing the feet? Right into the marrow of the bones. Can we get any deeper into the body than the marrow of the bones? And staying with the feet, let's just bring our attention out a little bit from the bones. Let's come into the muscles, so into the fleshy tissue. And while we're with the muscles, let's get interested in the fascia, the connective tissue. Each muscle fiber is wrapped in a sheath of connective tissue, and then it's all these bundles of muscles wrapped in connective tissue. And then we've got these, really strong sheets of fascia, plantar fascia. There's so many tendons and ligaments and this sort of complicated weaving of the tissues and the bones supporting this part of the body to support the rest of the body. So complex. This is our connection to the mother, to Mother Earth, our gateway to the Earth's elements, water, and if it's possible, let's keep with our consciousness in our feet, but at the same time, let's generate that inner smile in the heart. This is where love hangs out. Let's see if we can send some of that love and high vibe down to the feet. You might find yourself smiling into your feet. And it can help to take your breath down there. Breathe that appreciation and love and health and vitality into the feet. Let's come up into the ankle joints. You're going to inhabit both ankle joints at the same time. Fluid-filled space, tendons, ligaments. Let's come on up through the lower legs, calves, the shins. So again, shakes coming from these places and spaces. And then coming up into the knee joints. Fluid-filled, chi-filled space, the knee joints. Let the shake come from there. A few nice breaths in and out, and a smile into the knee joints. And then slowly coming up the thighs. Let's include the, the side of the thighs, the side of the thighs, the ITB, all of that sort of connective tissue, bones. As we come up into our precious hip joints. Fluid-filled, chi-filled place of health, vitality. Might want to get a visual image of your hip joints just glowing with health and a sense of being perfectly aligned, perfectly balanced. Having a space. So much stillness in the joints, like a cave of stillness and consciousness. Really inhabiting the space. Moving from the space. Let's generate an inner smile of love and appreciation and gratitude, and smile it into this joint capsule, the hip joints. Staying with the hips, let's just take a moment to really appreciate all the tendons, the ligaments, the muscles. There's a lot going on through here. Everything working together for alignment, movement, strength. Able to walk and run and bend, sit, stand. Amazing hips. We're going to come up into pelvic floor. We're going to come into the reproductive organs. And not to be exclusive in any way, but because it's all women in the class today, let's really gently come into ovaries, uterus, right down into the vagina, and let the shake come from there. So an opportunity to just wake up some chi, to encourage balance, hormonal balance. And let's take a moment to generate the inner smile of love, gratitude, and appreciation, and sending it down to the reproductive organs. And let's just very gently bring the shake to a stop. I'm going to come into standing just for a minute or so, just to really appreciate what we've woken up. There's some really lovely sensations right now, just all sorts of tingling and flow, ease and softness and openness through the feet. So looking for places that feel really good, because there's somewhere in the feet that just feels grounded, open, solid, healthy. Find that place. Find the stillness in the knees. Find the ease and the openness, the vitality in the hip joints. Feeling into that all through the pelvic bowl. Light-filled ease, vitality, flow, aliveness. Okay, just gently coming out of standing posture. Let's just do a little bit of gentle spine twisting, swinging. Become slightly deeper as we warm up. It's coming from the pelvis. This gentle twist through the pelvis and letting it reverberate right up through the spine, holding the spine as a central column, and everything twisting around it. Get the eyes facing forward for a little bit. Then we're letting the head just follow. Gently bringing that to a stop. Let's just do a few circles of the arms. So letting the, yes, you know what to do. Sometimes the words just disappear. See if we can really open up through that upper arm joint, just getting everything nicely loosened up. So in craniosacral terms, all of the joints kind of talk to each other, and if there's something going on the hips, there's often a reciprocal thing going on in the shoulders and in the jaw. So let's just open up through the shoulders. See if you can hold the jaw just softly open. And just paying attention to your feet, just making sure they aren't scrunching at the toes and holding tension that's not required. Let's do one more on each side. Letting that go. Let's bring a hand to the belly, hand to the sacrum at the back. Let's just do a few rotations of the pelvis. And just loosening up through the hip joints, letting the jaw drop open and stay relaxed. Feet relaxed. Let's do a couple more in this direction. And then we are going to come the other way. Two more in this direction. Letting that go. Let's come onto the toes of one foot solidly into the other one. We're just going to circle around the hip joint and let that kind of circle around the foot as well. Just very gently working into the foot, working into the hip. Let's take it around the other way. Do this direction. Walk to the other side. Opening up through the hip and just gently working into the foot. Away. Nice. Okay. Let's call in some elements, all of the elements. Let's make a visual connection with the soil that we're standing on. So if you're on a second floor, just sending your energy down and inviting this connection with earth and soil. Let's connect with the metal element in the earth. So crystals and rocks and minerals. Let's open up and connect to the water element in earth. The water under the earth's mantle. And let's open up to the fire element in earth. Molten lava and fire at the earth's core. And let's invite and open up the wood element. So all of these tree roots snaking their way through the soil deep into the earth, finding a connection to wood. And let's use our hands to connect with all of that, draw it up through the feet, ankles, the shins and calves, thighs, up into the hips, up into the reproductive organs, in the lower dantian. And we're going to turn the hands. We're going to move out into our field, bringing all of that into our field. Coming back in. Down to earth again, connecting with all of the elements, drawing those up through the legs, into the pelvis, out into our field. Let's hold the intention of harmonizing and balancing the yin and yang flows, all of the elements. Chi and the meridians, the linking vessels. Let's include the belt channel, the girdle vessel that we've been working with these last few weeks. So we're going to include that. A sense of balancing and harmonizing through the girdle channel that goes all the way behind us, around in this belt. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Each time reconnecting with the elements, fighting them in through the lower half of the body, out into space around us, girdle channel. This time as the hands come up to the pelvis, let's come into standing and feeling this resonance with the hands and the pelvis. Let's include the hips, reproductive organs, the girdle channel, and let's inhabit the pelvis, the hips. We're feeling it from the inside out. Slight shift in awareness from being aware of these places to being in these places. Being in the hands, being in the pelvis. Using the breath to breathe in. Breathe in the elements. And seeing anything that's been held or stagnant, anything unwelcome, memories, experiences that are no longer um, needed or part of who we are, letting them leave as a dark vapor, breathing in light and elemental chi, breathing out the dark vapor. Stay in our standing posture, but just shifting the hands slightly, letting the hands resonate with the feet and amplify our awareness of the feet, feeling the feet from the inside out. Same thing, letting anything leave as a dark vapor, breathing in light, breathing in the elements. The hands float down again to earth, scooping up under earth, bringing up elements right through the entire body, all the way up through the head, out of the crown of the head, turning the hands, let them drift back down, connecting with earth, drawing up through the legs, into the torso, up the neck, out the crown of the head. All of that just wash through meridians, tissues, fluids. Let's do that one more time. Washing all the way through. Bring the hands into the pelvis once again. Let's inhabit the feet from the inside. Feeling that connection to earth through the feet. Let's inhabit the pelvis and the hips from the inside. For the last couple of minutes, let's bring in awareness of the space that we inhabit and see if we can hold this balance awareness between the internal space of our being and the external space of our being. Staying very grounded in the body and just inviting a connection, a permeation of the outside space into the inside space, so staying very centered and grounded. Being aware of places of stillness and all of that. Stillness behind the movement. This balanced awareness, internal and external spaces. Let's take a deep breath in and out. Very gently, just come back to movement. And ending the practice.